come chill on the couch with us.
Welcome back to The Couch here on Aurora Television around Australia. Hope you're enjoying the program. It's one of my favourite times when I introduce fellow local presenters and from another TV station here in Perth. It is, of course, Channel 9 Perth. She's the weekend weather presenter and she's also a reporter. Today, we've got Candice Barnes on the show. Please give her a round of applause. Welcome to The Couch, Candice.
Thanks, Fred.
It's nice to have you here because you're only up the road from us.
Yeah, about 10-minute drive, so it was pretty close.
And you're quite young
Yeah.
to be on TV. How did you decide, or when did you decide, I want to be on TV, I'd love to be a presenter?
I think my mum would verify I was probably around about 4
Yeah.
when I realised that I could talk the label off a beer. So I figured might as well capitalise on something that came to me quite naturally, and television
did
really...
you used to watch a lot of TV and go, I want to be like her when I grow up, that type of thing when you were little?
Not necessarily I want to be like her, but definitely TV addicts. My brother and I are well known for quoting The Simpsons and Family Guy. And
So you were right into it?
yeah, right into
And
it.
how did you make your dream come true? What did you do? What's the Candice story?
I didn't really take a typical path. I started out, did pretty well in high school, so I had the option of choosing which course I wanted to do. I chose Murdoch, broadcast journalism, because it seemed quite specific in that field. Unfortunately, after 6 months, I got quite ill and had to pull out, so I was kind of reassessing my options for about a year. I worked for a really great little mining company in West Perth. They helped me out with a receptionist job at 17, 18. Did that for a year, saved up quite a bit of money, then went to the Film and Television Institute in Fremantle. So I got my advanced diploma and did that after a year. And after a lot of begging and bothering...
Yeah, that's how it is.
I went to ECU and said, please, come on, give me a degree in a year, and was lucky enough to be accepted into the Screen Academy at Whopper.
Yep.
So certainly a filmmaking background, got my undergraduate, and then walked over to the lovely folks at Whopper Broadcasting, ECU Broadcasting, and said, hey, I've done my undergraduate, I've got this far, nothing stopped me yet, come on, give us a go.
Yeah.
And went and did my audition. I just had my second knee reconstruction.
What did you have to do for your audition? Do you remember it?
Yes, I was in a wheelchair because I'd just had my second knee recon,
Okay.
and I was on some pretty strong painkillers. So it was simulating a newsread, just proving your general knowledge and making sure that you weren't a complete idiot.
And you were determined, especially in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I like to think I was. I was thankfully driving an automatic car, so I was able to make the audition, and they rescheduled for me because I had to go in for surgery, but everything's all well now, which is great.
Did you think you wanted to be a presenter or journalist, you know, going out there reporting the news?
If I wasn't a journalist, I'd be a meteorologist. So weather was something that always appealed to me a lot. You know, some kids just know a lot about dinosaurs and aren't necessarily archaeologists or paleontologists, but just have a big knowledge.
You love weather.
I love weather. It's something my favourite movie as a kid was Twister. Storm chasing was something that really, really appealed to me. Weather stories are always the ones that tend to be handed to me as a journalist.
We're looking at some overlay now. Now this would be what, at Channel 9, isn't it, here in Perth?
Yeah, this is Channel 9, yeah. It's done a few stories there. That one's about trading hours, from what I understand.
The weather aspect, because a lot of people think, being a weather presenter, people say, oh, you know, how hard is it to do? Is it a hard thing, like, to get up? What does it involve? It's not just you walking up at 5 to 6 and going, OK, these are the temperatures.
No. Yeah.
What does a weather presenter do?
Here at 9, well, not here at 9, but when I'm at 9, in the TV industry, I'll get in at around about, well, somewhere between 10, 10:30, 11, depending on how we're going. I'll program all of the graphics with the help of the graphics department. I'll write all my own script. If I need to lean on a little bit of extra expert knowledge, I can lean on the guys at the Bureau of Meteorology, who have always been really, really good to me. But we are responsible for what we put to air.
So you write your own script?
Yeah, I write
as
my
well.
own script, yeah.
So people don't realise that.
I interpret my own chart.
Yep.
You know, I take a very keen interest in it, compile my own statistics and try and bring something a little bit extra.
As a reporter, do you find the stories that are happening now in our world a bit depressing? Would it be hard to be, if you didn't have the weather to sort of fall back on, would you like to be reporting on a certain type of story?
I quite like being a general reporter,
Okay.
which is when I'm on reporting duties. I do anything from courts to sport to crime.
Is there anything you don't like? Does anything really make you feel sad or really you don't want to cover those sort of
One
stuff?
of the as a WIN journalist, so the regional Western Australia journalist, I remember it wasn't too long into my job, had to go to the regions. I went to Albany, which was a fantastic experience, but probably the worst experience of my career to date happened quite early, which helped ground me, but also it's a dreadful memory to touch on. There was a crash in the southern town of Balling, which is just outside Narrogin, and 2 people were effectively burnt in this car crash to the point where they've died, but 2 people managed to escape the car. I got there not too long after the emergency services did, certainly before any rescue attempts were made. Not that a lot could be done, but just...
It's terrible to be on.
Yeah, being in that scene and hearing the friends scream for their loved ones and the most awful smell I've ever smelt. And
it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, but having to report in a situation like that was the worst thing I've ever done.
Well, what about the best thing you've ever done? What's the best thing about being a reporter or weather presenter?
Weather is something I really, really love. My absolute dream is to be, as awful as it sounds, be in the middle of a big cyclone.
Really get blown away.
I know it's perfectly illegal.
That would give I could just imagine you doing the weather in a cyclone. I'd be saying at home, wow, that Candice really blows me away.
Oh, hilarious.
Would you like to really be involved in a storm?
Maybe not a cyclone, because there is, some element of personal danger there. Well, I'm a VJ, I can do it myself if I need to, but certainly in the middle of pouring rain, maybe no makeup on, just going...
Roughing it.
Yeah, just really rough, just out there saying, hey, as you can tell, it's raining a whole bunch. That would be fantastic. I'd love to do that.
Candice, where would you like to see yourself in 5 years? I know you love doing what you're doing, but as you get older, people like to move on to different things. Would you like to present your own show? Would you like to do more with the weather? How would you see your career?
Weather's something that I'd like to continue to move into. It's not, I'm not the kind of person to stab anyone in the back or, if things are meant to happen for me.
You won't climb over everybody to get to that weather.
Because you know what? The more people you step on the way out, the more people will claw you down when you fall down, when you inevitably fall down. So.
You've got a fantastic team that reads the news with you nightly. Do you want to just tell us who they are?
Yeah, we've got on the weekends Ebony Ferranda and Louise Momba share the presenting duties. Both really fantastic girls.
Great team to work with.
Yeah, we're very close-knit, and on the weekends we've alternating sport between Peter Vlahos and Tyson Beattie, who's just kind of joined us in the Nine newsroom, which is fantastic. I've worked with Tyson quite a lot in wind, so it kind of feels like all of the wind journos are progressing and, coming into their own, which is really cool. And
tell me a little bit about Candice. What do you like doing when you're not at Nine, when you're relaxing at home or going out? What do you do?
I'm still a TV addict.
Yep.
Well and
What's
truly.
your favourite show?
I really like Family Guy. Community I'm a big fan of as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really big fan.
So you into all the realism, like all the real TV type stuff, like the cooking shows and all these reality TV, I think?
Not really into the reality TV, though. I must admit, I do have a horrible addiction to Jersey Shore. I don't know if you've ever heard of that show.
I think I have.
It's
American.
Yeah. Okay. It's disgustingly trashy, but something fantastic to watch when you're feeling a bit down about yourself and just want to eat some chocolate.
And do you ever watch the other opposition news
and
pick up tips or say that, oh, she doesn't look good on TV tonight?
Wow.
Do you ever do that? Like, do you ever, not pick, but do you use it as reference?
Absolutely. I watch all of the other news broadcasts, both here internationally and around the nation as well. We can all learn from each other.
But you've got to say, you've always got to see it first on Nine.
See it first on Nine, absolutely.
Candice, tell me that funny story. I know we're wrapping up. The funny story about what happened to you on Win News one night.
It was my first month of being on air doing weather, and I'd been with the company for 2.5 years, so I do know the names of the regional towns. I'm born and bred in WA, and the hottest town in WA this particular one day was this very small community in our north called Bidjadanga, but my mouth really wasn't behaving that day. It was Bidjadanga.
Bidjadanga.
Bidjadanga, a very small community up north. Didn't say Bidjadanga, said Didjabanga, live on air. So that was,
Didjabanga.
Yeah,
and
very awkward moment.
The faster you say it, the more it sounds like Didjabanga.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
and what
very
happened?
embarrassing.
Did you just fall over?
Deborah Kennedy was our newsreader at the time, and I could see her out the corner of my eye because we're all in the same room together. She was laughing, like trying to smother it, being, just kind of turned around and was like, oh, sorry, yes, I did bring Bidjadanga there, but we'll move right along. And
did anyone tell you off, or did they just say,
nah. I think if you laugh at yourself, then people are quite happy to laugh with you. If you act horrified, then people are quite prone to think you're not
What's your
very
advice, Candice, to kids out there that want to be doing what you do? What should they do?
Be yourself, above all else. There's no point trying to be a cookie cut out of
Fred Mafrica.
Or Fred Mafrica,
yes,
or Sandra Sully, or anyone like that.
Oh,
I'm living proof that a short brunette girl can be on TV.
It's the old be yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, congratulations. When can we catch you on Nine?
I'm on every weekend from the 6 o'clock news. I'm on around 6:25.
Beautiful. We'll catch you there on Channel 9 Perth and also on Win. And she's also reporting all different stories on the Nine Network, or I call it the Nine Network. Channel 9 Perth, but everywhere in Western Australia. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Love having you.
Yay.
And thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.